Hey there, it's Ashley from madlemmings.com again. We're going to do a quick tutorial today on how to optimize on-page SEO on your blog or website. So basically how to set up the SEO for the page using the Yoast Wordpress SEO plugin. There are a number of other elements you have to do, and I'll cover that in another video. But this is the main thing you need to do once you've finished writing your post, to make sure that the keywords you're concerned about for ranking for on Google and Bing and so forth have been optimized for the page that you've written. So once you've installed the plugin called WordPress SEO, you can install that if you haven't already. Just go to your plugins and search in the search bar for WordPress SEO, and you should find that one on the top. It should come up first because it's one of the most popular plugins in WordPress. And once you install it, on every post and page you'll get a separate panel, such as I've shown here, and the title of that is WordPress SEO by Yoast. So you should see that automatically appearing on the page. And what this panel helps you do is to optimize your SEO by focusing on a keyword that you choose to focus on. It can be a word or words, and obviously if you use a couple of words you get more of a long tail SEO approach, which is usually better. And I haven't done that in this particular post because I just was focusing on webinars. I didn't do any research for long tail keywords. I don't normally do that for my podcasts, which this post is about. And I've typed in the word webinars here, and after you've typed that in, it then checks through the page and tells you in these areas here underneath where keyword focus was found. And you want to make sure, generally speaking, that they're all green. Now the one I have red here is because I haven't got an S in the word webinars in my page URL. That's the only one that failed, but normally you get 100% green, and that's what you want to aim for. So what are the areas that they've got here? They've got article heading, which if you scroll up is actually the title you've used on your post. So you want to make sure your keyword's in there, and preferably towards the front of the sentence you've used. Doesn't have to be, but it helps. If you can, don't make it totally hard to read for your users. Your focus should be on getting the attention of your readers, but try and get your keyword or keywords in there if you can. That's an optimal way to do that. And so you'll get a yes here, and hopefully only one, because in the title you should only really have it once. And then the page title is then referring to basically what will appear in Google, and you can alter that down here in the SEO title section. And that's exactly the same as the title I just showed you up the top, but you can change it. So you can have a different title, which is what appears on the blog post title, and then you can have a different SEO title, which is what appears on Google. So this is hidden in the background of the post, it's not shown, and so the search result will show this one instead of the one that you've titled the page. So if you want the page to be more of a catchy title where you want to get readers' attention when you first publish this, and you don't want to focus on SEO, you just want to get people to click through, and that's really an optimal thing to do as well. Have a catchy blog post title, but you want your SEO title, what appears in search engines, to rank better and have more keywords in it. You can change that here. I don't do that very often, but sometimes if your blog post title is very catchy and not very keyword oriented, you may want to change that here. So you can change that here. And just to show you that that actually works, if I remove the word webinars here, it now says that I don't have it in the page title either, because I removed it and it's quickly analyzed that for me. So the page URL we don't have, and if you scroll up you can see here you would change that in this yellow section here by clicking edit, and I could just add an S here and it would work. But I've already published this post, so I don't want to change the URL now, and I don't think it's that crucial. But try to get your keywords at the front, and your URL should be a good summary of what the post is about. It shouldn't be the full title. Don't make your URLs too long. Keep them 4 or 5 words and sort of keyword oriented a little bit, but also explaining what the blog post is about. So this blog post is about webinars and growing your mail list. So I've got webinar, grow, email list. It doesn't have to be a full grammatically correct English sentence. So that's the page URL, and then we also have content, and it's gone through and scanned my content for the keyword phrases. You want to have it in there a number of times. Don't get all spammy and put it everywhere. And because I've only focused on a single word here, it's obviously found it a lot of times. If I had a phrase, it probably would only find it 5 to 10 times, not 34 times. So Put it in there as many times as you can naturally. Try and maybe go through and tweak it a little bit at the end, but don't put really unnatural sounding sentences just to get this number up. It's not worth it. And the meta description is then the last part of what appears in the search engine result, which is here, are you looking for a way to increase your opt-ins? And you can type that down here. And it gives you 164 characters to do that. And as you're typing, it'll tell you how many characters you have left. You can overtype this particular number. You can have 180 characters if you want. And what will appear in Google is then an ellipse, as they call it, 3 dots in a row, and it won't show the rest of it. It'll cut it off. That's not a big deal, but try and keep within that limit. And the same with your title. You have 70 characters. Try not to go over it. Google doesn't like it, and it doesn't look good on the search results. So try and keep that optimal, and try and get your keyword in here again, preferably towards the beginning. But again, that's more important to get your readers' attention than to focus on keywords, because this is basically your advertisement on Google. So this is what appears on Google. So you want your title and your description to really capture the attention of the person who sees your search result and to get them to click through. But you also don't want to lie to them. So you want to tell them what's in your post and what they're going to get out of it, and a really important thing that they will want to know about and click through to get. So try and make your title a bit catchy, and also the meta description here. So that's the main things there, and make sure it hits all your keywords if you can, so get all of this green. And then the next section you can look at if you like. I don't focus on it too often. I mainly just look at these things, is also the page analysis, and it'll go through in detail and have a look at your keyword density. For example, mine, it says, is not good enough, but that's because actually I have the transcript of my podcast in there, so I actually have quite a few words in there, and the density is not as high as it normally. I think they aim for about 2 or 3% density in a normal post. So I think when we discussed in the podcast, we didn't use the word webinar all the time, so it obviously hasn't come up. You should also have your keyword in some subheadings, and because again this is a blog post about a podcast, I don't have too many subheadings, but normally in a well-optimized blog post I'll have a number of H2 and H3 subheadings with that in, so that should normally be green. And again, it says it's not in the URL, which we're already aware of. You should try and get it in some of the alt tags of your images, so make sure your images have alt tags with some reasonable text in there with your keyword, outbound links and so forth. So there's a number of areas you can look at here, helping to optimize your SEO, on-page links to your internal posts, so forth, and that's pretty much it. So you should be doing that with every blog post before you publish it. Make sure that you've optimized all of these areas to get maximum benefit and maximum on-page SEO, because it's getting harder to get off-page SEO. It's harder to get links these days, and a lot of links are spammy, so don't get those kind of links. So on-page SEO is really important, and this is a great plugin that should take you 5 minutes to do that at the end of every post. Thanks for joining me on the video, and we'll see you in the next one.